So I recently ran some tests on my website that I wanted to share with you today to see exactly how I went about ranking different posts based on different keywords and what factors that I was able to extract from Google's ranking factors to see what you can apply to your website and your business moving forward and increase the chances of you getting on the first page, if not the first position of Google's results pages. What I wanted to do is explain a few metrics of the website that I used for this test. Now, I'm not going to give you the actual site because it's one of my niche sites, but I am going to give you the overall authority of the site. So the site currently sits at a domain authority of 11 and an average page authority of 15. Okay, so that just gives you a metric of, where the site is currently. It has it has 92 articles on the site. I used the last 10 posts to test and see what it was that encourages my website to make it to the top of the results pages on Google. So I'm going to share all of that with you today, and I'm going to share all of the data from the test, and maybe you can apply that to your business. So what I did is I separated the test into a 50% of a type of article and 50% of another type. Okay, now this is not so much focused on the article, it's actually around the keywords. So I wanted to do something that was closely related and something that was more broad within the same niche. So the site that I used is a dog website. Now the site is about golden retrievers. The specific site that I used, the specific related keywords that I was using would be related to golden retrievers because that's one specific dog out of the wide audience of dogs. Then the other keywords were focused around dogs. Okay, so I done best blah 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 for dogs, or best blah 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 for golden retrievers, or what is a golden retriever blah blah blah, or what is a dog blah blah blah. Okay, so I was able to run the test symmetrically like that to see and analyze what works out better, where do I rank for each of these keywords, so on and so forth. So what I was able to find from testing all of the closely related keywords is that all of them, 100% of those 5 articles that I tested showed up within the first 3 pages of Google, and 2 of those specific pages or posts showed up in the top 10 immediately after posting. Now that was a bit different to the keywords that I targeted that were more generically broad. So the ones that were broad and they wasn't focused on golden retrievers as such, they were more focused on just generalized dogs. Well, those results were a little bit different, and if I read out those metrics you'll know that. So 2 of them showed up in the 2 of them didn't even show up in the top 100, so they weren't even seen on the SERPs, or my keyword tracker couldn't track them. 1 of them showed up at position 89, 1 of them showed up at position 53, and 1 of them showed up at position 28. Now these were all low competition keywords for every single post amongst the 10 different posts that I wrote for this and that I targeted. I did write them myself, so they were on point and they were relatively similar in the way that they were structured and formatted as well. All right, now one of the things that I was able to take away from this test is that the most important thing is relevance. I was able to see that whenever I'd done something that was quite relevant to my actual brand name or the topic that I write about, then it would always rank very quickly. If I'd done something that was more generic or broad, then it would take a longer time to rank, or it wouldn't even show up in the first place. So you could see 40% of that out of amongst those 5 that I tested that of broad keywords didn't even show up in the top 100 results. So what I would recommend is that if you are building a niche website, you keep everything close related. So for example, if you're niching down on this particular, sub niche in that sense, a subtopic, and you've got like dogs, but then you've got like dogs is amongst pets, but then you've got what specific type of dog. Okay, so you might do like golden retrievers or Labradors or something like that. Now if you was doing that, I would say that you focus all of your articles on that, like 30 posts or 50 posts, however big your site is, focus it all on just golden retrievers. So every single keyword that you target, it has to have that word inside of it, and it will give you a lot of relevance. And then one of the other ways that you want to increase the relevance is by basically targeting and titling your post the right way for what the searcher is searching. Okay, so if someone's searching for something like how to buy something, then your title needs to symbolize the same thing. Okay, then when that person comes onto your article needs to be formatted and structured in a way that answers that problem or query that that person has, and it needs to be relevant and stay on topic. Okay, so the way you can actually figure out how to do that in that sense is by checking all of the related searches on Google. If you head over to Google and put in any type of search query, you'll be able to see that you can go down to just the section just below the search where it gives you a few questions, and if you actually click those questions, you can see that it then duplicates a few more, and then if you go down to the bottom of the article, you can also see that there is a bit where there's some related searches, so you can get the general idea of what someone wants to get out of that potential query. So what was I able to gain from this test and this experiment of, going and trying to rank 10 new posts on a DA11 website? Well, there were a few things that I managed to take away that I think would be very beneficial. One of the ideas is that the articles were on point. Now, obviously, you could tie this to relevance, but they were on point in the sense that from the related searches, exactly if someone, was looking for something and all the other things amongst that topic, all the questions they might have after that topic about different topics that are related to it, well, it answered all of that. Those ones that I did, I saw that it was more like focused on exactly answering what they came in the door for. The site, I think, gained somewhat authority around a particular niche. Okay, so I think that that's why the relevancy thing applies so much, is because where I focused so many articles previously or building the site up around that particular topic, it then understands that, okay, well, this site is really good when it comes to this topic. We've ranked them there for different things before. So anytime I do a post on that, it usually gets a really good kind of, feedback from Google in that sense. One of the other areas that I really noticed made a difference was the length of content. So throughout these different articles, I had to do different lengths of content, reason being because they were focused around different topics. So some of them warrant a big long, article, and some of them are short. Now, the way I analyze it is by going in and seeing what the average word count is for the top 10 ranking sites. And there's a tool that I use for that, which is key search. I just drum in the keyword. It tells me exactly what the top 10 sites average out to, and then I'll go and write an article around that. Now, if you don't have that tool and you don't want to purchase it, then one of the easiest ways is to take the income score approach. So they have 3 types of posts, one of them being a response post, one being like a listicle kind of staple post, and the other being a pillar post. Now, the 3 different posts represent different lengths of content. So a response post is going and checking a low competition keyword that's directly asking a question, and you answer that question in 1,500 words. That's a staple post or listicle is like your how-to, 15 ways to do this, or 5 proven steps to do this, or 10 of the best blah 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 for this. All of that kind of stuff is going to be 2,500 words at least minimum. Okay, then pillar content is those big hefty keywords, usually keywords that are like 3 or 4 kind of phrases long, and they're just really broad topics in your niche, but they're mandatory for your site. So for example, in my niche, like a golden retriever, it might be how to train a golden retriever. That's like a big, even though it's a how-to, it's a massive keyword, because that's like anyone who's searching that around the world, how do you train a golden retriever, they're going to land on that page, you see. So you need to come with big hefty in-depth content for that kind of thing. Now you could get away with a 2,500 word article on that, but maybe that would warrant. Or for example, let's just give you a clear example. Income Score has an article that ranks number 1 for RV depreciation. So that's actually the depreciating price of a vehicle. So for RVs, that's huge. So it doesn't matter what brand, model, but then what they do is they give you like an actual list of all the different RVs that under different brands, and then give you the actual depreciation cost. So they give you like how much it was at brand new driving it off the lot, and then how much it's worth after 3 years, how much it's worth after 5 years. So if someone was typing in RV depreciation, they're looking for everything about how much it's gonna be worth in a couple of years, because then they might think, all right, well, I don't want a brand new one, I'll just buy one that's 3 years old because it's worth this much, so I can only spend that much. And then for someone who's selling it, it gives them an idea of, oh, well, if I hold on to it for 2 3 years, then the average amount of money that I'll get back on return on my investment is this. So it's like one of the most helpful posts, and you can check that out. It's on the website Camper Report. If you go to camperreport.com and then just type into the search box RV depreciation, and it will come up, or just type RV depreciation on Google and it will show up number 1. So the last thing I want to talk about is what you can do to actually improve your content. Now, one of the first things I said is keep your keywords closely related, because relevancy is a big ranking factor at this present time. You want to answer the questions that people are looking for, bang on point. So if you're going to, do a post that someone's asking a question about, or they're looking for the best thing, well, one of the easiest ways that you can really gain some trust and authority and rankings in that sense based on your content is go and look at the other questions that people are asking, so you can get a general idea of exactly what they want to know. And then by knowing that, it allows you to understand the psychology that they have and the questions they have. You can then really flesh that out, throughout your article. Now, if you don't focus on the content on your website, you can try and hit your site with as many backlinks as you want, but all that's going to happen is it's going to rank for maybe 6 months, 12 months, and then it's going to drop off. Because what's going to happen is if people are coming onto your content and they're not having a good experience and they're going back to Google and typing the same search query again, that's a good indicator to Google that your content never answered the query. But if they go back to Google and they search something else, then it's an indicator that your post answered what they need. They're now onto another search, or if they went onto your site and just closed down the browser, it's another good example that they bounced, but you answered what they need. But you don't want people typing it in, coming to yours, seeing some crappy content, that's number 1, and then going back and checking 2, 3, and 4. You see, because that's now going to put you down there. Okay, so you have to focus on making good, high quality content. And when I say high quality content, it needs to answer the questions that people have. If you want to know the questions that people have, go and type the query on Google and look at the related searches, and then you'll be able to get a general idea of what people want to know. Another way is by just going and checking the top 10 ranking sites, and that will usually give you a good indicator as well as to what things you might be missing that you might need to incorporate into your site. And that all that means is it just triggers a light bulb in your head, and it allows you to then branch out on the potential idea that or topic that you're talking about on that particular keyword. One of the other ways is to create tables. So when someone comes in, say for example, they're looking for the top 10 blah blah blah, well, one of the easiest ways is some people are going to be in a rush, so if you can give it to them in a nice table and just say as soon as they come in, you've got this list or this table that just explains it. So what's the best baby food for a 6-year-old, or what's the best baby food for a 6-month-old baby. So if they were to come in and see that, and then they can see it like boom, the best baby food for a 6-month-old baby is, I recommend blah blah blah. But if you want to see all of the top brands, these are the top brands that all cover 6-year-olds, and then you've got all of the different brands, and then the prices, and then the age group, 6-year-olds, and then you've got 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, something like that. That would be really interesting to someone. They'd be like, oh yeah, okay, that's really good, really helpful. And then they might go down and then read your review on the one or whatever, and then buy it, if it was a review article or whatever it is. I would recommend that you use the Akabadu, if that's how you pronounce it, Akabadu theme, which is created by Income Schools. So that theme is designed purely to increase your page speed. The reason why it's such a good theme for affiliate websites, not for your personal sites, for affiliate sites, is because it has no extra additional weight on it. So it's a very stripped down site. It does one job, and that's convert customers and load fast. Okay, so it gives you a great user experience, and it would take your page speed on desktop or mobile to anywhere between 98 to 99 out of 100 on the Google page speed test. I don't know about you, but I've tried many different themes, and I've never got a page score speed on the mobile above 40 or something like that. So I purchased the theme because I was using X theme. It's very similar to that in that way as well. And if you want to see the theme itself in action, go head over to dirtbikeplanet.com or camperreport.com, and you can actually see that theme, or a site called imboro.com. They've got it applied on all of those different websites there as well. The last way that I would recommend that you can really focus on increasing your content and the valuable information that you help your customers with is if you're doing an informational article, I would say, really focus on in-text links if you're recommending any kind of products. Don't start putting all these big buttons and all of that different stuff on an informational piece of content. People are not there to buy, they're not shopping. If you've got a buyer intent keyword like best this or best that, or they typed in like product review, then obviously you can do like an image, a button, whatever you want to do, because they're just essentially shopping with their credit card out, ready to buy something. When you're doing informational content, you want to keep it really concise, to the point, on the topic that they came for. And then if there are any recommended products that can potentially benefit them or help them to achieve the task that they're set out to do, then obviously you can recommend that through in-text links. Don't worry, they will find their way to Amazon and those products if you have those in there and it's part of what they need to have in order to do what they need to do, what they're trying to, how to do. Yeah, okay. All right, now if I were to conclude all of this into a nutshell and package it to what you can take away, I would say that you should just keep your content on point. If I'm, all of the niche sites that I'm building moving forward is going to be very closely related on the keywords. So for example, I'll give you an example. If you look at dirtbikeplanet.com, all of the content that they write the word dirt bike in, like on the keywords, yeah, they say what's the best dirt bike for this, or how do dirt bikes blah blah blah. It's always dirt bike, it's in there. Yeah, when they don't write the word dirt bike, it doesn't rank as high. And I'm not even sure, they know about relevancy, but they don't preach it so much. They do income score, but they don't preach having the specific exact keyword in the title. So they might say like, motorcycle as well. But if they write motorcycle, it's not going to rank the same as if they write dirt bike. There's something about this same exact match as your branded name, because there's this dirtbikeplanet.com, but don't have like a specific niche keyword in as your site. Like just dirt bike's quite a wide thing. It could sell motorcycles, could sell other motor mechanic stuff, like, so that's all right. Yeah, but it's still very niche though. But anyway, so if you dirt bike planet, don't do like an exact match keyword like as what someone types basically, like bestdirtbikes.com. like don't do something like that. Make sure it's just a branded name, and then it gives room for expansion if you want to sell. And on top, obviously it can benefit you through your SEO. Okay, so like if you got dirt bike and then you writing dirt bike this, dirt bike that, what's that about a dirt bike, what size is dirt bike, 90cc engine, how much oil do you put in a dirt bike, 50cc pit bike, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, you want to keep it very closely related, and I believe that will get you, this is how people get like 50%, 80% of their articles ranking #1 out of like 100% of their articles and things like that. That's where you see those stupid numbers. It's because they're keeping it so closely related that they could write informational content or bio content on that particular specific topic, and they've got the best chance at ranking it. And that's why I think niche sites are so good. If you haven't seen my other video about buying and selling niche sites, then make sure you go check that out. I'll leave a link to that in the description box. Until then, make sure you leave a thumbs up on this video and also subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.